Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. We got Fat Bars and Tough Dog. Okay, let's have a bit of a look around. 2009 Hilux, so it's 13 years old, KUN 26R. What to look for if you're checking it out at 300,000 Ks. What are the typical things you're going to see? What you need to worry about and what you don't. Now, I'll just remind you again, do you remember not that long ago, a couple of decades ago, cars would get to 80 or 100,000 Ks and people would say, oh, it's getting a bit long in the tooth, we better get rid of it before it starts costing us money. And then 150, 160K, 200K, it was like, whoa, it's up there now, where people are buying cars with 300,000 Ks and we're going, mate, not much to see here, just all the usual. But you got to understand that is a lot of kilometres and there's some things that need to be done, but these Toyotas, the engineering is absolutely awesome. So we're going to have a look around. Tough Dog, look, I don't know, maybe not so tough, but you know, whatever, each to their own on those. I'm not a fan because the vehicles I've driven, not a very nice ride. And, you know, tough names, you know, tough names. Tough Dog Australia, you know, but just because it says Australia, is it made in Australia? Check it out. Anyway, you got to be careful what you read. Got some nice big recovery points here, mate. Recovery, keyword recovery. What is most helpful here is the bracket from the bull bar that goes all the way back to the chassis, adding a bit of strength, spreading the load, because these massive big steel 18mm welded, they're not going anywhere, I can assure you of that. The problem is if you pull them hard enough, it'll tear the front of the vehicle. The chassis is only a couple mil thick. This will do that, just the same as these will do that, but what adds strength is spreading the load between that front point, midpoint and up to there, which is kind of good, I suppose. But you'd have to be pulling it that hard to make a difference. That it's just crazy stuff anyway. You don't want to be doing that. Now we've got a diff drop in there. We're just having a look around. I'm talking a bit of crap, waffling on while we have a look around, trying to look for some problems, but everything looks pretty clean. I mean, you know, who'd think you got a 280,000 K car, there's no grease on the tie rod end, you know, bursting out of her, there's nothing on the lower control arm, what am I saying? Upper ball joint, upper control arm. There's nothing on the lower ball joint. Oh, you know, a little bit in. That's the standard little bit. It's been there for, you know, 100,000 Ks or so. Let's have a look over this side. You know, a bit of a sweat there, but you know, that could be when someone put the suspension in again. Pretty well bone dry up there. Drive shafts and all the boots and everything looking good. I think they look original, but you know, could have been replaced because they haven't got that usual, you know how they ooze that grease out there a bit more on the Prados. So maybe the Hiluxes don't do that. We'll take a bit more notice from now on. Like the Hiluxes don't seem to have the oil on the steering rack. So maybe Hiluxes are better than Prados after all. Has there been a bit of oil there and it's been cleaned up? Maybe, because it looks like the pressure washer's hit there. See how it looks clean at this end? All right, so it may have a bit of a sweat, but that's all okay. So engine bone dry, you know, around the sump and everything. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. I can't see anything at the front worth reporting. If you see anything in the video, just let us know in the comments, because you've got a better eye than me. Once again, that wetness there, that's just going to get cleaned up. We're going to give it another wash when we're finished. We did a quick wash, but this one needs a couple of washes, just from the injector replacement, bit of fuel leaking down, that sort of thing. Flat bars. Okay. We're doing a transmission oil flush at the moment. That's why the oil's dripping out. You see it's got quite a bit of redness into it. That's probably one of the last drop and fills. Now, some people want to, you know, why do you do it that way and whatever, you know? Well, you know, let me explain it to you this way. If you hook up a machine to that and put the oil in at the same rate it comes out, it doesn't flush it as well as dropping it. It's like if you've got a dirty glass of water and you're dying of thirst and you've got some, well, you know, you're probably going to drink it anyway. But look, if you wanted clean water, you don't drain at the same rate you fill. You're going to get a better result of cleanliness by draining as much as you can, right? Like changing your oil. You don't pour the oil in the top while you're draining the sump plug at the bottom. There you go. That's a good example, right? A flushing machine puts oil in and takes it out at the same rate, which means you just end up using a lot more oil to get a similar result. Draining the engine oil, draining the transmission oil, same thing. Take the plug out, drain it. You never get it all out. So what we're doing, because we don't do the transmission every service, like every 10,000 Ks, we refill it. It's a bit of a waste of oil, but it's what you got to do if you want to get it clean. You run it, circulate it a bit and drop it again. You're going to get 80% or something each time. You know, ballpark figures. We're just making stuff up here. That's your cleanest result. Therefore, it's the best value for money because you use the least oil in doing so. And we didn't have to have a $10,000 machine to do it. Now we're going to have a look around here. I can't grab uni joints and whatever and show you the play in those because I'm holding a camera. Aftermarket exhaust. Now, got it. Let's talk about that for a minute because turbos, right? I'm not the turbo specialist, but the turbo specialist says big exhaust is what allows the turbo to overboost, and that's what causes turbo problems in the end, okay? So just be aware of that. Here we are. Look at, isn't that deceiving? Tough Dog Australia. Check it out. It might be an Australian company. So if you're inventive, you come up with a name that sounds tough and Australia and all that, and then you get stuff made. And cha-ching, cha-ching. Now let's have a look at this Tough Dog while we're at it. Let's get in there and have a look. We've got some Tough Dog suspension. Oh, look at these springs. Awesome. That's just awesome. Beautiful. Let's check it all out. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, there's a whole bush come out the end of the leaf spring. Huh. Maybe it's not so tough after all, eh? I think so. Those bushes need to be replaced. Maybe I suggest some Dobinson's bushes may work well, since we've never seen that on a... I'm not saying it can never happen. I'm just saying we've never seen that on a Dobinson's leaf spring. While we're looking at it, let's check, okay, shockers. You can see the plastic dust cover rubs on the body. That's all right. You get a bit of that. We prefer the metal dust covers, you know, like the Dobinsons, because then they stay in correct alignment and generally they don't rub, but if you flex it up and up, it's going to rub a bit anyway. It's not really a concern, but that's not like it's going to rub through or anything. It's just could be a bit better, you know. Okay, over this side, same thing. Whatever, she's all good. Bit of a look around the spring again. Have a look in between in case any... What's going on a bit, mate? Can you grab that? Oh, it's one of the packers, one of the spacers. Oh yeah, go on to pieces. So that's from in between. See these little plastic things? They clip in and they go in between to stop the springs rubbing to keep it all quiet. See that thing in there? Well, I'm guessing there's no longer one in there or half of it or something like that. So look, I'm not saying that can't happen, but what a coincidence that we're looking at some tough suspension and maybe it's not so tough after all, you know. I mean, this part of it's probably tough and the U-bolts are probably all right. It's not going to go anywhere. Plenty of meat on the brake shoes. We already checked that out. Nice brand new spare tyre there. Let's check out the tyres. What do we got here? Clever RT, there you go. And what size? 265 7017. Oh, look at those rusty drums, aren't they terrible compared to those nice black painted ones? I don't know if we got that video out yet, but we painted some drums black. That'll either be out already or coming out soon. So not much to see here really. Once again, got some heavy duty sliders. Let's have a look at these, right? So mounted on the chassis up there, not bad. 3 mounting points, this one here, okay. Square tubing, you could get, you know, what I would prefer is if we could get that mounting point there up higher, because this is a bit of a hang up point if you're sliding over something, you know, you're sort of sliding along and the rock goes bang and hits there. So if these bars were up a bit higher somehow, you know what I mean, just giving a bit more clearance, even coming down on an angle, I know it creates work, but you know, that way you've got, you know what I mean? Let me just paint a picture for you, all right? A design like, you know, it takes thought, mate. This is something maybe Kaon would think of, right? An angle like that, then there's, you know, nothing here to get hung up on, if you know what I mean. And then you can slide along this. This is the lowest point. See, like on the outside, see they got the angle on the outside and it goes up to your step, although it's not much of a step, which is not ideal. I think, you know, a little bit less angle and a little bit so that you can actually get your foot on it, because they're not much of a step. Most people can confirm that and they agree. Anyway, we're just waffling on a bit here while we're having a look around. Like I said, a bit more of a cleanup's going to happen down here. Nothing to see here. It's a bloody Toyota, see? Anyway, pretty boring inspection, isn't it, you know, other than some tough stuff that I don't know if it's really that tough. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you learnt how good Hiluxes are. That's why we work on them, because we're busy. We haven't got time to fix stuff all the time. So we just do preventative maintenance, and the preventative maintenance that is not known by a lot of people, you know, stuff like the BFE job, you know, big front engine job, the water, you know, with the timing belt and all the kit, we do the water pump, all the belt and bearings, because this one's squeaky as well, isn't it? As soon as we wash the engine, guarantee you with the new drive belt and bearings, that won't be happening when it's wet for at least 150,000 Ks. It's going to have those at least one of the bearings that's a bit dry and squeaky, or it can be the belt or the bearings. Anyway, that's why we got that kit that we install on vehicles, or it is available for you. Mondays is parts day. The earlier in the week you get me, the earlier in the day the better. From 7:30, 8 a.m. Monday morning if you want the parts, or to send me a text message to book in. It's text messages only. The phone doesn't ring. It's a service that's available for organising your parts or your booking, or providing any important feedback directly to myself. It's not for questions. That's what our Facebook groups and pages are for. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Smash that like button, and subscribe to turn the bell on. Check out the other videos. Check out all the playlists. Bonus little bit of information for people that hung around. You just got to think carefully before you add accessories to vehicles. So let's have a look. We need to get this bash plate off for some reason. We can't get this bolt out. So that bolt's going to be hard to get off with this in the way. Is there any other way to do it? Well, maybe we could just get that off and that'll come out. Maybe, or we just take this off. That's pretty easy, isn't it? 1, 2, 3 bolts. And then, the nuts are all up. So, mate, there's a lot of mucking around putting these on and off to get one bolt off. So, yeah, I suppose it's all right. I don't know if it's going to make knocking and vibration noises as well. I don't know. These things, they don't always seem to work too well together. Anyway, it's an Ironman bar. It's Ironman recovery points. You think they'd come up with something better that worked better together, wouldn't you? So if you do have any questions, this is what I said, Facebook groups, that's what they're there for. Some people think Facebook's evil. Well, there's certainly a lot of evil things going on in the world, and maybe Facebook and some of the operators are, but we don't have to be part of that evil. We just use Facebook as the platform for our own groups, for our own purposes. You don't need to get on there and read, don't have to check newsfeed and read anything you don't want to read. You can just go to these groups. If you've got a Prado or Hilux and you're in Australia, there they are, Oz Prado Crew, Oz Hilux Crew. For everybody else in the world, there's these 4 groups here, whichever engine you've got. And if you haven't got one of those engines, we've got the one at the bottom, 4x4 Diesel, the Facebook group. You've got to answer the 3 questions to get into these groups. We've got moderators there. There's no swearing, no personal attacks. We make nice places. Once again, like the YouTube channels at the bottom there, 4x4 Diesel, I mentioned that group, and also the group 4x4 Adventures if you're into. There's a lot of other information there besides Touring Australia type information. VIP groups only for clients, so no need to try and join that one unless you've got the answers of what work you've had done, what kit you purchased, and the gold classes for people that have already made contributions, making a donation to a fund where we collect some money, we save it all up to help people get free engines, get engines replaced, or contribute to engine replacement in worst case scenario, cracked pistons. So you can see the other information here. We don't use Messenger, so don't worry about shooting me a message. If you're one of the good guys, you can hit the friend button. Where am I? Oh no, here somewhere is my name. Workshop information page. You'll only see that if you're in Australia. Parts kits page. Tech service only, we covered that. And it doesn't say there. I'm Anthony Prado Fulby on Facebook. So if you've watched this video to the end and you're one of the good guys, you can hit the friend button if you like, if you want to follow the information and when I post information on these groups. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and there's better videos there, and there'll be more coming soon. Catch ya.